Hey guys, so today's video is about a few different topics. I'm still saving my big video, so I know this would come this weekend, but it will probably be sometime kind of during the week coming up because it is kind of a slightly bigger video. I just want to make sure that I've got all my information. So you're going to get some mini teas before then, and then we're going to get our big topic video, which is kind of what I do. I want to mix in small topics with big topics. And yeah, that's just kind of how I want to go about things. So I know that I said there will be a big video about family channel coming on Sunday. That is now being postponed. My bad.
So I'm just popping in to also say that my first episode of my podcast is out now, so that'll be on the screen and in the description, as well as a book channel that I'm starting for you guys. So there'll be a video on there next Thursday, which is the long-awaited bookshelf tour, so subscribe to that as well. And my beauty channel will also be in description. I just posted a full face of Colourpop over there, so if you want to watch any of that, it's all in the description.
Subscribe to that bell, like, comment for engagement, and let's get into it. So David Dobrik is being called out again. Now this has nothing to do with his friendships or his dangerous stunts or anything like that. It's to do with now him scamming his fans, which is just a great cherry to add on top of all the other things that he has allegedly done. So this is allegedly a scam. Allegedly he has allegedly done many alleged things. Allegedly. Okay, I'm glad I'm covering my grounds here, yeah? Don't sue me. If you guys don't know, recently there's been a rise of cryptocurrency and NFTs, which is just been great. I'm so just like happy whenever I hear it's going to the moon, it's going to the moon. There's nothing going to the moon. The only thing going to the moon is, I guess, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the solid ones. Everything else is not going to the moon. I'm not a financial advisor though, so do as you please. Do whatever you want with your money, but if an influencer is telling you to invest in something called Titcoin or Dogecoin or anything like that, chances are the moment you're paying in, they're paying out. Which means the moment you pay in, your money goes, you know? That's just my financial advice for you. I think there are many better, more reliable financial advisors that you could listen to that will give you solid long-term investment advice, and long-term solid investment advice should not be taken from Tana Mojo or any other influencer that hasn't gone to uni for finance or isn't interested in finance. They're just doing it because someone sent them a DM being like, hey, we'll pay you 500k if you put on your Instagram story for people to invest in this coin. Like, they have no formal or informal education on finances and therefore should not be giving you financial advice. That is my rant over. Anyway, so David Dobrik recently promoted an NFT, which is obviously when you pay money for like digital art or digital things that you don't actually physically own, you just own codes on the screen. So a lot of people that are very serious about NFTs and serious about investing in NFTs are getting very angry when people just screenshot the digital art and go, I have it too. Which, like, yeah, we don't have the codes behind the art and we don't have the actual art that we can sell. We have the general consensus, we have the screenshot of the digital art. With this, there really isn't much of a quality difference between the actual original NFT and the screenshot of said NFT, which is why people think NFTs are a scam. That's where I was going with this. It's like there is really not much difference except for the coding behind the scenes between the original NFT and the screenshot of NFT. I'm not stupid. I do get that the original one is the original one and you can't sell the screenshot as the original one. But if you want the general consensus, you want the general quality, a screenshot is just as good as the original thing. That's where my issue of NFTs arises, is the fact that the copy is the exact same quality as the original. But I get digital art, you know, we're going into a digital era, we're already in a digital era. But a lot of people have been selling NFTs and then abandoning the projects. One of those people is Logan Paul. He has been very heavily invested in NFTs. And by heavily invested, I mean he promotes one, makes a lot of money, and then never mentions it again. Just like he did with cryptocurrency, just like he did with any of those other very quick, get rich quick schemes, scams, if you will, allegedly. Scheme, scam, it all sounds kind of the same. I'm being very petty today. I just find this whole thing infuriating because they have such young audiences, and even if you're over the age of 18, like, and if you've never been given solid financial advice before and your first time entering finances and investments is through influencers, you're really going to have a really bad time. And I just feel really weird about knowing that young people are entering their adult life already in debt or already losing money and investing in all the wrong things. And I just feel like it's such a shit start to your adulthood and such a shit start to investing, when I feel like investing is very important. If you want to beat inflation, if you want to retire early, do all those things, I think investment is very important. But I think we're talking about like index funds and long-term investments and solid portfolios and diversified portfolios. We're not talking about coins and NFTs, and I hate that people are now starting their investment journeys through scams, and that might actually put them off investing in the future, which is a shame because, like I said, the only way to beat inflation these days is through solid investing. And I would hate that some people are going to get put off by this because it puts them in debt at a very early age. So that's just my issue with NFTs and cryptocurrency. I think it's a good thing, and I think if you want to invest in NFTs and you know what you're doing, great, good for you. Like, I think it can be a solid income. And if you do know about cryptocurrency and you want to invest into things, I follow financial advisors, they do invest in cryptocurrencies, but they research it themselves rather than trusting the word of, like I said, influencers that have no formal or informal education in finances. It's not even something that they're super passionate about. The only thing they're passionate about is making a quick buck. Anyway, so recently a new NFT came along called Bored Bunny. They have such interesting names. And David Dobrik went on his Instagram stories. I'll try and find the Instagram story. I'm so sad I didn't screen record it, so I'll try and find it somewhere. Anyway, he basically promoted Bored Bunny. He was like, invest, put your money into this.
Hi again. I've been trying to send this video of David Dobrik to my laptop about him promoting the NFT, and it keeps on coming up with no audio, so I don't know what's going on with my editing software, but I'm just gonna have to explain it to you guys. He basically just goes on and says like, oh, I've never, done NFTs before, so it's my first time dabbling in NFTs, and I'm glad I'm doing it with this like big NFT. It has 115,000 people in its Discord chat, so it feels like a community, like this whole thing. And then the malicious bit that I get really upset about is he then pans to his younger brother and goes, if you're young and naive like my brother, then invest in Bored Bunny. So he's basically just promoting this to people that have no idea about what this scam is. And he literally says, if you're young and naive like my brother. Anyway.
Now the owners behind, like the people that created Bored Bunny, turned out not to be great people. And when people started investing because of David Dobrik and other influencers, a few $1 million disappeared from the investments. And that then means that anyone that invested after David Dobrik and influencers told them to has now lost money because the value has heavily dropped after a few $1 million disappeared. Now, allegedly, it's about $6 million that was taken out randomly. Bored Bunny comes to David Dobrik, says, hey, promote this to people. David Dobrik then promotes it to people. People invest, the value goes up. They take out 6 million, value drops. People are left with less than they put in. Hasn't that been just like an ongoing idea with NFTs and cryptocurrency? Like, I feel like I've seen this happen time and time again. Let me just say, as a rule of thumb, if someone is telling you to invest in something, chances are you're already too late. Like, if someone's telling you to invest into a get-rich-quick scheme or scam, chances are when you invest, it is already too late and you're going to lose money. Because unless you are the first one or one of the first few to find this new cryptocurrency, you're not going to make money. If David Dobrik and Tana Mojo are telling their big audiences about this, you're going to be one of those people that loses money. And that is like, I'm sure of this 99% of the time. My financial advice, like I said, take it how you will. I think, get financial advice from whoever you want to trust. But I believe that if a big YouTuber talks about something, it's already too late and you're not going to make the money that you think you're going to make. But that's just my opinion. Please watch where your money goes. Anyway, then we have FaZe Banks that comes in and talks about this on Twitter and on Instagram. ZachXBT tweeted out saying, welcome David Dobrik to the long list of influencers promoting scams. So he shows the growth. So he says 0.4 Ethereum to 0.059 Ethereum within 90 days. And the team has disappeared with $6 million. And they show the floor price. So like I said, it dropped from 0.4 to now 0.059. After everyone had invested. So if you really think about it, shouldn't it have gone up? Considering David Dobrik promoted it to his fans, they invested, it should have gone up. But somehow it is now lower than before people invested. That sounds like a scheme to me. Like I said, those two words just get me very confused. Then we have FaZe Banks replying to that saying, they offered me 500k to 750k upfront for a story post / follow. I think it's worth noting that I didn't make this mistake only because I've taken the time to educate myself. A lot of these influencers take deals bought to them by their management treated as product campaign. So he shows DMs from the people saying, I can get you 500k now paid before just for a follow and a story post, not real post. Only one story post, 15 seconds, that's it. Just please call me when you can happen right now. Call me right when you wake up. And he says, ? And obviously they explain the scam to him and he says, no. Trooper.ethereum replies saying, saddest part is you are one of the very few creators who knows what to do in these situations. Turning down $500,000 bag for future reputation in a new world is not an easy decision, which is very true. Banks says, that's the thing. I was introduced to crypto with these garbage brand deals in the first place. I know what it feels like to be on the side of ignorance. That's why this is That's what this ultimately boils down to. It's a shame, but I personally know David and I know this must have went down. And I know how this must have went down. They replied then saying, David is a legend and a fantastic human. I don't know if I would take it that far. Zero malicious intent. Don't know if I would take it that far. Solely ignorance and lack of awareness. Frustrating that these products have that much budget to offer. And these campaigns actually work when they mint out. This is why people think all NFTs are scams. Exactly. Like, I think NFTs have gotten a bad rep and cryptocurrency has gotten a bad rep because of influencers. And I feel like at this point, 99% of those are a scam. One of those. But I do think there are some solid NFTs and some solid cryptocurrencies if you do your own research. Personally, I can't be asked for the research, so I just invest in index funds and just hope for the best, you know? Then Banks posted Instagram stories with all the same tweets, and then he just like annotated it on his Instagram story saying, David recently outed for promoting Bored Bunny and NFT rug. We spoke candidly about how it all went down and came to a pretty solid solution how to fix it. He then says, for context, this exact same project offered me $500,000 upfront for a very light promo endorsement. I favored this only because I understand the space. Took the opportunity to educate David and, like I said, come to some sort of resolution on what he could do to make up for the misstep. And then post that he was on the Views podcast with David Dobrik. And then he actually posted some Instagram stories I'm going to play for you guys about kind of what it was like being on David's podcast and what resolutions they came to.
Yeah, I just got finished recording Views, David Dobrik's podcast with him, Jason, and Natalie. We went into some really bare bones, just education on the space, really what NFTs are, the vision, the future of the my history with it, and why I'm so, heavily invested and interested in it. And ultimately came to a resolution on a make good for his misstep in the space. From what I understand and what we just talked about, this Bored Bunny thing was the first and last time he participated in a deal like this. And, this was brought to him by outside management and he didn't know what the he was doing. Not that makes it right, but we came to a really good solution and I think you guys are going to like it. So I'll share that when it's up and I'm going to start building out this solution, and we're gonna pump this money back into the ecosystem, baby. Dumb it down if that didn't make much sense. This shitty rug pull garbage, Fiverr project, Bored Bunny, approached David. They approached me as well, as you saw a few slides ago, and offered him somewhere in the ballpark of $100,000 to promote, a one-of-one honorary Bored Bunny that they had made for David. David looked at it through the lens of, NFTs are hot, cool, everybody's talking about them, this is art, this is a collectible, I see nothing wrong with shining light to this project and this art and these artists. And that's what he did. Obviously it left his followers holding a bag. These guys ran off with however much money they made on Bored Bunnies in the secondary and on Mint, obviously sucking millions of dollars out of the ecosystem. David got paid and people got, which is just all bad for NFL. Candidly and honestly and openly, talking openly about figures and just kind of admitting to the fact that, he's totally clueless and ignorant to this NFT game. And ultimately, he was paid $100,000 somewhere in that ballpark and he's ready and willing to distribute that money back into the ecosystem, whether it be to Bored Bunny holders, whatever. We're gonna brainstorm that and figure out a good solution for that. But he doesn't want the money. He wants to put it back into the ecosystem, and he wants to, more than anything, learn. So I think that's the biggest thing, is educating the consumer, educating these influencers. Not that David isn't an influencer, but it's such a weird term, such a relative term. But all good. Again, very bare bones. Should be an interesting walk.
I just think, was this a misstep? Was this without malicious intent? Was this just David's ignorance, or was this a quick buck? Because David knows that he's on a slight decline, obviously after all the drama he's been in, all the scandals, all the articles, and then recent Jeff drama. Is he just kind of like, look, I just need to make a quick buck. Like, before I leave, I have property insurance and taxes to pay. I have mortgage to pay off. Was this just a very quick buck for him? Like, he already knows that his reputation is cut.
Also, I just want to add, the reason why I'm leaning more towards this being with some malicious intent is because in a recent podcast episode of David's podcast, The Views, he did mention how he's planning on quitting YouTube, and how he doesn't really see himself on the platform anymore. So, yeah, he's gonna get cancelled for scamming his fans, but if he wants to leave YouTube anyway, that doesn't really affect him. If he doesn't want to stick around, if he doesn't want his reputation to fix itself, if he just wants to leave YouTube and do other things, what's one more scam, right? What's one more scandal? What's one more, you know, like, people already hate him, he already wants to leave. I just feel like if he had made it clear that he wanted to stay on the platform and fix his reputation and do all of those things, I would have been more inclined to believe that this was an accident, because he already said that he wants to quit. And, you know, if you want to quit, you don't really care about fixing your reputation. That, to me, then signifies that he doesn't really care about what he does to his fans, and he doesn't really care how he comes across. I don't know, that's just my opinion. I'm just kind of throwing ideas out there.
But he also knows that he has a solid, loyal audience that is going to stick out, that is going to stick around him no matter what he does. So if they didn't go away with the Jeff situation and the insider article, then they're not going to leave him because of some NFT scam. I think he knows that he has a solid piece of audience that is never going to leave his side regardless of what he does. So I think he knew that he could make a quick buck and still retain some of his audience, because he's not at his peak anymore. He is not the beloved, uncancelable YouTuber that he was at one point. Right now, he is tarnished. His reputation isn't great. So I think at this point, he's taken the approach of almost Hannah Mojo, where you're so cancelled that nothing you do can make you more cancelled. So now you just feed into it. Now, I don't know his intent. I don't know if this was malicious. I don't know if this was on purpose. I don't know if he's ignorant. And I don't know if this was a mistake. But to me, this just looks like a Tana Mojo way of doing things, which is like, I'm already cancelled, I might as well just keep on going. That's my opinion though. You guys let me know what you think. I'm glad someone is talking about this. I'm glad FaZe Banks, as like a bigger YouTuber, is talking about this, mainly because he has been one of those scammy NFT cryptocurrency YouTubers before. And I'm glad he's come out of that on the other side, being like, hey, this is a scam. Don't do that to your audience. Anyway, subscribe with that bell, like, comment for engagement, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.